The aqueduct of Valens cuts across modern Istanbul. 1,700 years old, it was one of the engineering marvels of the ancient world, supplying what was then Constantinople with drinking water. These days, Istanbulis won't drink the water out of their taps, believing treatment plants aren't up to standard and it's polluted with chemicals. Instead, Turks who can afford it buy bottled water from local firms in partnership with big multinational companies. Lawmaker Ufuk Aras worries his fellow Turks are too accepting of this.
We
believe our drinking water should be managed so we don't need to buy it in bottles and it's freely available. We were not born on this earth to help companies add more profit to their profits.
Istanbul looks well supplied with water, but the city's old fountains tell another story. Turkey is drying up. Persistent droughts in the agricultural heartlands and around capital city Ankara last summer shocked Turks into realizing their formerly abundant reserves won't last forever. And that's where this week's World Water Forum comes in. It's a place for policymakers to meet industry professionals. Turkey's environment minister says Turkey's remaining water resources are open for business.
Let them all come to Turkey. These investments are coordinated through my ministry. Let us work together, develop joint projects. There's a need for this everywhere in Turkey.
But Turkey's already sought much private investment in its numerous dam projects. They generate a quarter of the country's electricity and have made some farming highly profitable. But they've dispossessed some of the poorest of their lands, caused great environmental damage, created wider water shortages, and many dams will not return what they cost to build. Now Turks are protesting against projects which have brought prosperity to Turkey's big cities at great regional cost. They believe that what they see as the corporate agenda, the exploitation of Turkey's water resources for the gain of a few, has gone far enough. What's interesting about the demonstration this day is that many of the people here are engineers, not activists.
The government believed dams represented progress and civilization. Many back then saw it like this. It was after the 1990s that people began to see for the first time the extent of the damage that dams really do.
So other voices in Istanbul this week will argue it's time for conservation, not privatization, before a necessity wealthier Turks take for granted becomes scarce here too.